Hi y'all, I'm Taylor. I'm a therapist and I have a really special treat for you in this one, so you have to stay all the way until the end. Spoiler alert, Jamie from Polaris is going to talk to us about the song. Okay, so today we're going to be listening to Polaris, Overflow, and I'm going to use this song to hopefully help one of my clients. And then we'll hear from Jamie about the song too, so it's going to be really freaking sick. Do you guys think these glasses make me look like Jeffrey Dahmer?
Relax. I just want to take some pictures.
If you do, subscribe. If you don't, also subscribe. Okay, let us do it. They kind of hurt my head with my little thingies though. So let me tell you, I have a client who grew up in a very traditional family and he finds himself feeling alone, depressed, and anxious, and he wants to feel free and happy. So we're going to see if we can use Overflow by Polaris to help him get from depression, anxious to free and happy. Let us listen to the song for the first time in 3, in 2, in 1. Turn it up, turn it up. It's always crazy to me when like Australian singers don't have accents when they sing. Polaris is my brand of metal. It wasn't in that, but that's a word. This video is cool too. In my bones. Well, excuse me. So good too. I missed it. You guys, there's this person outside my window pacing with their hands above their heads like this, and I honestly am like relatable. After listening to that song, big deep breaths, slay. Ah! Woo! Woo! Okay, so wow. So that song is freaking fire. And when I read the lyrics to it, I was like, okay, this is relatable. When I got to speak to Jamie about this song, I had asked him if there was a song during their set where he noticed that fans got extra emotional. He shared that other than the song that they take the time to dedicate to Ryan, he said this one. And so I really wanted to talk to you guys about it because I knew as soon as he said that there had to be something really powerful in it. And I had read the lyrics before I talked to him, but I try not to listen to the song because I know that I want to listen to it with you guys for the first time. And when I read the lyrics, I was just so struck. Oh my God, this song paints a picture, and it's a person who has kept their pain inside for so long, and it started to like overflow, and now they're trying to stop the pain before it takes them over. They've kept it in and they've like had it, and it's been like right here, and then suddenly something else happens and it's like, oh no, it's starting to overflow. And so they're trying to stop it and like trying to pull the drain on the bathtub before the pain just like takes them over, destroys like their whole life / bathroom. It says we're actually a bathtub. It's just such a powerful picture of how when we keep things inside, it actually eats away at us. So when I read these lyrics and after talking with Jamie about them, I realized like this is a perfect song to try to help my client because he came from a really traditional family where he was taught that boys don't cry and it's not safe to express his emotions. So let's get into the lyrics. I love this whole first section. We believe, but what do we know? All the things we bottle up will one day start to overflow. This is just true. And this is what my client was experiencing that forced him into therapy in the first place. A lot of times individuals who experience an upbringing where they're taught that their emotions are not safe to express only end up in therapy when they're at their breaking point. So this is where I met my client. And basically, this was the question that he was asking. Where do I shelter when it's raining inside? No peace and quiet from the noise in my mind. I don't bend, I break. I can't go on this way. Yo. The first step for my client was recognizing the problem. And he thought when he came into therapy that he was the problem, that there was something wrong with him. And that's what was leading to those feelings of depression and those feelings of anxiety and feelings of feeling alone. And what we work to understand is that the problem isn't that there's something inherently wrong with him. The problem is that he was taught that it was wrong for him to share his emotions. And when negative emotions are kept inside and they aren't expressed, they're like leftover food that you keep in the fridge for too long. It starts to smell up the whole place and cause a real problem. And then if you eat it, it literally makes you sick. He was just kind of eating his emotions like they were this spoiled leftover food. And then when it made him sick, instead of saying, oh, there was something wrong with this food, like I shouldn't have eaten it, he said, oh my God, there's something wrong with me because I'm sick. We have to get him to recognize that the problem isn't with himself. There's not that there's actually something inherently wrong. The problem is that he was taught that it's wrong to express his emotions. So that's the first step. Woo! And once we get past that step, we're starting to deal with the symptom, which his anxiety is actually a symptom of not being able to express his emotions and trying to maintain control. I lost years to future fears. Now I'm fearing the worst. This song is a chef's kiss of a mental health freaking anthem, because ain't that the dang truth? And this is what my client was doing. He was trying to control his experience and his life by worrying about the future. And we all do this. We all worry about the future. And it's so interesting because in our worrying, we often end up wasting the years that we are worrying that we're going to waste or we're going to experience pain in. So there were a couple of big worries that my client was really afraid of, but he mainly had a lot of anxiety around what would happen, one, if he started to open up to people, because he had been told for so long that that wasn't okay. And he was already feeling so alone. So he was afraid that if he started to share more with people, that he would lose more people and feel even more alone. Two, he was worried that if he let go of control a little bit and opened his hands, which is a great mantra that I offer to people who are experiencing a lot of anxiety, is hands open, and actually doing the action when they find themselves worrying of going hands open. And the things I love, I hold so tight, I strangle them to death. So my client had a lot of anxiety, and a lot of his anxiety was around losing the people that he did have in his life, because he was already feeling so alone that he couldn't fathom losing more people. And so he was so anxious about losing them. He would read into their actions and their behaviors. He would try to control them. And he was like this. And I often encourage people, and I encourage my client who is doing this too, when he felt himself getting anxious, when he felt himself trying to control the other person, to actually physically take his hands like this and say, hands open, and release his hands and release control. And just that act of saying and reminding yourself when you find yourself trying to control and holding too tightly to the things that you love. And actually, what's the worst part is that when you try to control so much, what happens is the thing that you're afraid of, which is losing people, is more likely to happen because you're trying to control them so much. So anyway, I encouraged my client and I said, hands open, hands open. And we say that mantra anytime and just actually do the action of releasing. And that can help your brain switch into being less controlling and more open. So that's the first part. Now, the other part is, how do we actually just stop worrying? And I love this line: I lost years to future fears. Now I'm fearing the worst. Because that's just what anxiety is we are losing years of our life when we're worrying about what's going to happen next in our life. It doesn't make any sense when we think about it logically, right? Because it's simply just a waste of time. And so what we need, and what I try to encourage my client, his big fear was losing people if he shared his emotions, right? That he would lose more people. And so what he needs is what I call in therapy a corrective emotional experience. Because in his past, he had experienced the loss of acceptance from his parents when he would show his emotions, particularly his dad. So what we need is to not have that same experience. Now, we wouldn't go out and say, blah, 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 this is all my trauma, and this is all my fear, and this is everything. No, it's just starting really small and sharing really small stuff. Therapy is actually a part of that corrective emotional experience of, sharing, it kind of hurt my feelings actually when you did this with someone that you care about. Or I actually feel a little anxious right now. And so I might be a little more on edge than normal. And seeing how when you share these things with people, it actually can bring you closer together when you're sharing it with safe and healthy people instead of pushing you further apart. So we tried to get some corrective emotional experiences under his belt. And now my client is doing a lot better. And he's feeling a lot happier and a lot freer, and he's able to share his emotions more. He's able to recognize that there isn't something wrong with him. There was something wrong with what had been taught to him. He's opening his hands, releasing, hands open, and he is seeking out opportunities to have a corrective emotional experience. So recognize there's not something wrong with you if you're experiencing this. There's something wrong with what you've been taught. Then releasing control, opening your hands. And 3, finally, creating opportunities for corrective emotional experiences. Okay. Let's hear what Jamie has to say about this song and how he can relate to it in his life.
Hello, my name is Jamie Hales from Polaris. I mean, definitely of these past recent tours when we have played Martyr, just before we go into that song, I have a bit of a speech on stage talking about our guitarist who passed away, Ryan. Recently when we obviously go into that, I've noticed a lot of people around the room would be a bit welled up or crying or, in their emotions. But other than that, I guess being an obvious one, Masochist is always one that I do tend to see a lot of people getting a bit emotional about, or like in their feelings. Even Overflow as well. Sometimes I'll catch some people when we're playing that song as well. In the past, there's been I'll just keep it with this tour. Yeah, so I'd say like those songs. Yeah, no point in going on in different tours because that's not what we're on at the minute. But yeah, and I know it's not healthy, but like sometimes you just can't. I mean, you can help it, but it's like, I guess you choose to do it. But like, it's just the way you deal with things sometimes. Yeah. I mean, like that battle of even knowing that like you shouldn't be bottling it up, but sometimes it's just what you choose to do. Like I know myself, like firsthand, like the best thing for me is like talking with people about my issues and problems or whatever it is that I might be dealing with. But at the same time, I do but I do like to deal with whatever I may be dealing with just in my own way sometimes. Like, not sometimes I do shut myself off from like people that want to help and that, but a lot of the time it's like, I know you're there, and if I get to a stage where I really need someone, like I will speak up. I'm not just gonna do something silly or whatever, but like I do like to just sometimes I'm gonna deal with it myself, and I will get through it in a way that I want to do it at my own speed, however that may be. And I guess, I don't know, it's hard sometimes as well, because it might relate back to like that being, like feeling of being all alone or wanting to just get away from everything and just be yourself. Like sometimes talking to people, it's like it can get very overwhelming when you're talking about such heavy, issues or mental health or whatever it might be, which is maybe sometimes why I like I choose not to speak to people about it, because it's like I'd rather just, like, sometimes I just don't even want to talk to people, It's like, yeah, I'm dealing with shit, but I don't want to talk. It's nothing on you. It's not that I can't confide in you or reach out to you. I just don't want to talk to anyone, And it's as simple as that. Like, it's like, not like I'm offending you. Please don't be offended. I just don't want to talk to you. Like, I'll deal with my shit, and I'm good. Yeah. Yeah.
Has that always been the case?
No. I'd say it's probably been a bit more recently that I've kind of come to that. I mean, I'm still learning to deal with my head and everything. I'm in the process of like trying to seeking out like a therapist and stuff like that at home and all that. But a big indicator for me was before COVID, I kind of thought that I was dealing with my mental health and that quite well. And then when COVID hit and the live performing side of things was taken away, it really hit on how much I was, I guess the best word would be is like relying on this as my release. Like, I was kind of treating it like a therapy session, getting up there, and it is like, it's good to just let out all of the emotions and whatever it is that I might be dealing with. It's a good way to just get it out, and in a very positive way, and it can be quite healthy as well. Like it is quite a release doing what we do, but for that to be taken away, it hit me quite quickly on, I definitely do not have my head screwed on very well, and the fallout from that has been, like, as I just mentioned, I am going to be going seeking someone and start talking to people and dealing with it properly. But it wasn't really until COVID happened when I really realized, oh shit, I need to really put some work in on myself. I'm not as well put together as I thought I was or whatever. And there's nothing wrong with admitting that, Like, it was a little alarming, because it was like, it was quite a shock to be like, like now this is taken away and I don't know when it's going to come back. Oh shit. Just there was that realization of like, okay, maybe I'm not as good as I thought I was. And but at the same time, it was like, well, there's nothing wrong with that either. It's just, all right, well, I've got some work to do,
I really like what Jamie talked about the difference between being able to process things internally and making a healthy decision to process things internally versus feeling like you can't share with other people because that makes you weak or you don't know how. And I think that he did a really good job of acknowledging that now he is at a point where he can share with others. He doesn't have to hold it in, but sometimes he chooses not to. He chooses to process internally. And I feel like that is a really powerful place to be. Anytime where you are choosing from a place of free will and not from a place of pain is chef's kiss. I just want to say I am so grateful for Jamie and the time that he took to talk with me about this song. And another thing that we talked about that I thought was really cool is he shared a song that really helps him when he's having a hard time. So let us hear a little bit about that.
I guess like a current one that's been around for a little while is a song from a artist called Talk, and the song's called Runaway to Mars.
What if I run away to Mars?
I think it was like the main chorus hook that just kind of caught me, and I don't know, it just hit me. I like just got really emotional, cried to it, and just connected with it. It was just such a very beautiful song, I guess. Yeah, and it just, every time I find myself like, you know, a bit of a, kind of like about running away and like, you know, getting away from everything, escaping. I guess, as I said, like, it kind of, when I listen to it, it just kind of soothes me in a bit. Just the, I don't know, the lyrics and the way that he executes the, you know, the way he sings, the emotion behind it. It just, I know there's like a weight behind it that that I kind of connect with, that I feel, but it also is very calming as well. You know, yeah, exactly, yeah. You know, not even though I'm very aware of that, it's like, you know, I'm not the only person out there that's feeling these kind of ways, or, you know, wanting to escape or get away or exist by myself away from everyone or everything, you know. It's a universal language that speaks to everyone in many different ways, you know. Yeah. I mean, even like shows, live music, like for a lot of people, for a lot of people, it's almost like a therapy session in some ways. You know, you see people like in the crowd, you see fans like, and some will be like bawling their eyes out, but like with a smile and singing, and you can just see that there's, you know, live music provides such a safe space and such a positive atmosphere for people to be able to feel these emotions or feelings, or, you know, it's like some people, what show was it? Someone came up to me this past week. God, I wish I remember what show it was, but long and the short of it, this fan came up to me like out in the street and was like, I was just out walking with some headphones on, and they just approached me, and they were, you know, wanted to get a photo and, you know, all that stuff, but they were like, I've been looking forward to this, as soon as you guys announced this tour, I bought a ticket straight away. I've been looking forward to this for so long. The album, you know, your new album means so much to me, and they're just like, I've been wanting this, I've been needing this, you know, that I don't, like, they say that, like, listening to our music is one thing, but coming to a Polaris show it just helps them with their shit, you know, their day-to-day shit, and I'm very happy that we can provide such a thing for our fans. You know, it is quite beautiful that we can create, that we've created, but we can provide a safe space for people to, like, you know, I'm going to go to the Polaris concert and let out all my bullshit in the only way that I want to, which is by seeing Polaris or by seeing Currents or any other band it may be, not just this tour, any other, you know, live show from any other band. It's really cool that us as artists can provide that for some people. Yeah.
Okay, you guys, if you can relate to literally anything we talked about in this video, or there's a Polaris lyric that really feels like it helps you through something, share it in the comments by tagging @HeartSupport, and we will encourage you. That's all you have to do. Type @HeartSupport, share your feelings, share your thoughts and emotions. Don't let them overflow before it's too much. Share them now and receive support, and we'll give you that corrective emotional experience. Okay, don't forget to hit subscribe, okay? Like, what the heck? What the heck? I love you. Mwah.